Trump warns Canada, Mexico, tariffs are coming on Saturday. From the Hill, President Trump on Thursday said he plans to follow through on Saturday on his threat to impose 25% tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada. We'll be announcing the tariffs on Canada and Mexico for a number of reasons, Trump told reporters in the Oval Office. He cited the influx of migrants at the southern border, the flow of fentanyl into the United States, and the trade deficit the U.S. has with its neighbors. I'll be putting the tariff of 25% on Canada and Mexico. We will really have to do that because we have very big deficits with those countries. He said those tariffs may or may not rise with time. Trump added that he would decide Thursday night whether to include oil among the items subject to tariff. We may or may not. We're going to make that determination probably tonight on oil because they send us oil. We'll see. It depends on what the price is. If the oil is properly priced, if they treat us properly, which they don't, Trump said. Now, the United States is completely capable of being energy independent.
Yes.
We were during the last Trump administration. So having a tariff on the oil from Canada or oil shale or whatever it is, that seems like it would just essentially shut off any buying from Canada, wouldn't it? I mean, I'm not an expert on the trade policy between the U.S. and Canada, but
it's crazy to me. And it's all about control, right? It's all like if we buy enough of their oil, they kind of got to dance our dance. If we're spending the money, we pick the song we're dancing to. Same thing with Saudi Arabia. Like the only reason the Saudis exist is because the West buys all their oil because they want to control that part of the world which has Mecca in it, okay? Like you control Saudi Arabia, you control Mecca. So we buy their oil. We should be independent. I don't know why
Are we saving Alaska for 500 years down the road? I mean, because we could be hitting up Alaska and never buy from Saudi and never buy from Canada, and then they would lose all their money. Or just playing the long game.
It's globalist, dude. It's globalist playing a game of controlling territories by using us as this big consumer, and we buy their oil, so they dance our dance. Yep. I mean, do you guys like? I had Jay Dyer on, and he was telling me that the first the first king of the House of Saud was a British intelligence agent. I mean, imagine getting that gig, bro. Imagine that's the gig you get. Some guy's got to go to like Afghanistan and talk to Taliban. And now you and your family are now the head of Saudi Arabia, and you get to do whatever you want for the rest of your life, dude. That's the best gig ever, dog. But everything is British intelligence. Everything's about control, and that's why I would love to get energy free from. I would love to not buy energy from anybody, but this is how we control people.
I kind of wonder if there is even like Raymond was saying, if there is an effort to purchase oil from other countries before we actually really tap into our own, because oil isn't just about cars and energy, right? It's if you burn fuel, that's actually one of the worst uses for petroleum products. Between all of the chemicals that they make with petroleum products, between all the plastics that they make, all the things that make
pharmaceuticals,
all the fertilizers that they can make. A major part of the reason why there are so many human beings on Earth right now is because of the fertilizers that are made with petrochemicals. So I'm not a peak oil guy. I don't know that it's going to run out. I don't know for sure. There are arguments that say that at some point it's going to run out, but it does make sense to say, look, if we use other countries' oil first before we have to get to our own, that does put the U.S. in a stronger position geopolitically. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I don't believe in peak oil. I think oil is a replenishing source. I think it was given to us by God, and it's to help us grow and flourish. And they got to make everything. It's all scarcity. Yeah. Everything's got to be, go away from abundance, which is God's plan.
I wonder when we started talking about scarcity as a people. Like, when did that kick in as a thing? And
I just discovered it just a couple years ago. It's interesting. And it changed the way I looked at everything. Everything is scarcity. They want you to think there's not enough, and that way they can control you.
Most of the enemies of humanity are into scarcity. The idea of scarcity. Like the guy who... right now, I interviewed him for one of my books. He collected the debris from the guide stones after they were blown up or whatever happened to them.
Snaps.
He literally I forget the name of the book. Alex Jones always talks about it, but that book is about scarcity and what you need to do to preserve, Earth and have a low population. And what do the Guidestones talk about?
Yep.
The population. So it's very interesting to me that guy kind of fetishized the idea of scarcity and population control.
There's enough food for everybody. There's enough oil for everybody. There's enough of everything for everybody. And this is how they make their money. This is how they control spiritually, through making it harder to get these things on purpose. I mean, you look at how they control the price of meat is by limiting the amount of cows that are put out. When there's enough meat for everybody, for everywhere. You got people like Bill Gates, like, we got to make fake meat. You're like, no, we really don't. There's enough for everybody. And it's not cow farts, no matter how much they try to tell you. My dad is ripping it. He's doing way more damage than any of the cows.
Right.
So,
And now they're, they tried to eliminate cows, all this stuff. They tried to do the fake meat. And now you can get milk that has the medicine that was given to the cows to make them fart less. You got to really be careful.
You got to
about what you're ingesting and putting in your body.
You got to milk your own cow.
And here in West Virginia, we do, Sam.
I know.
I'm suspicious of anyone that says we need to do this major activity or action in the world because we want to have a global effect.
For sure.
We live in an ecosystem that does have a balance, and the human beings. Like, there's a lot of us, but they don't, like, I don't think that human beings have the kind of impact on the atmosphere that, the climate crazies would have us believe.
Everything that Al Gore said was going to happen in that movie.
That came out in 2006, 20 effing years ago, Sam. 20 years ago, not one thing happened that he never does.
And they're still going hard. What happened this past week? 2 climate cultist things. The doomsday clock moved forward because of climate change and nuclear warfare that they're scared of. And I told you this earlier, Sam, they just put the moon on an endangered list because, in part, to climate change. The moon is endangered. I don't know how something that's fake can be endangered, Bill.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
But, like, why? Why? Because they keep extending this scare tactic of climate change and all this stuff. So now it's like the moon is now under attack.
Can you articulate the reasoning?
There's an article, it's all over the place, that these people, some group of cultists, said that the moon is a threat because of climate change and possibly warfare. Maybe Elon Musk, I don't know. But I guess you have to believe in space to go there. But they said it's a threat and we have to protect it. Look, is it up here? It's a threatened historic site, but there were some places that were saying it was endangered.
That is, because, like, it's not just the United States that's been there now. India got there, and they're like, all right, now this.
I mean, the Nazis have a headquarters.
Have you seen India?
Did they get in there with the H-1B visa? How did they get to the moon?
I don't know.
Dude, have you seen India landing on the moon? It's like Sega Genesis
really
graphics. Unbelievable, bro. I'm like, dude, when did this film come from? 1985 on my Atari graphics?
Okay, let's just assume the moon might be real for a quick second. They're
What do you mean by not real?
Okay, well, we can look at different ways. Maybe it's a hologram. Holograms are real. Maybe it's plasma.
Can you explain types?
Maybe it's a headquarters for aliens or Nazis. I don't know. Or maybe it's actually
aliens
a rock.
or Nazis? Good cross.
I do think
Phil or Nazi aliens. I don't know.
Okay.
But we are, if the moon is there, we are literally, people are paying to
traveled
send their
across the
dead bodies.
galaxies just
People
to
are
hate
paying to
Jewish
put their
people.
dead bodies on the moon. Maybe that's an issue. Maybe we shouldn't be turning it. Wait, maybe we shouldn't be turning it into a cemetery.
I think it's
crazy.
An energy vortex.
We're gonna turn Phil. I'm gonna make Phil.
It makes no
a Christian
sense
and a
if you
believer in the moon being fake by the end.
No,
of this.
I believe
Study the moon,
is
man.
real, and I believe
What
that
degree?
human beings have been to the moon.
And what is the moon?
Agreed.
Pardon me?
What is the moon?
The moon is made of minerals that are very similar to what the Earth is made of. That is because the moon is a product of a massive impact on.
That sounds like a NASA.
That
psyop.
is the amount of things that have to line up for that to happen.
For what?
For the moon to be so what you're saying, something hits, everything thing, and then it just forms together a perfect moon, and then it never turns, ever. It never turns. It's the only thing in anywhere in space that has a perfect orbit, never changes. No one can even explain why it's trapped in our atmosphere.
Gravity.
Okay.
But it's moving. It's moving away.
But you're
Remote
saying,
controlled.
I mean, the notion that that giant thing could be controlled by our gravity is the most hilarious thing I mean, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody who's thinking that.
You know that like the Jupiter, which is real far away, that's controlled by the sun's gravity.
Right.
Do you believe that?
I mean, you have to believe in Jupiter.
Is it?
Think that.
I mean, like, who knows what? I mean, like, listen.
I mean, if you're just like a skeptic of space existing at all, then
Which I am.
Okay.
Because I've been told what it is by Nazis.
Right.
Nazis have told me
By
that.
Werner von
that's
Braun,
kind of accurate, right? That's
who is like the spiritual daddy
Who
of
says
Elon
we have a
Musk.
firmament. I mean, he literally on his gravestone goes, check out this passage in the Bible, and it's all about a firmament. You guys can call me cuckoo crazy guy. I'm totally cool with that.
I'm
do you
dialed
believe
in,
that
dude.
the Earth is round?
What?
Do you believe the Earth is round?
I don't know what the Earth is.
Okay.
If you really go, Sam, gun to your head, you think, what do you think it is? I think it's an energy field.
Explain that.
I think it's an energy field, and that it gives the appearance of a ball. But I think it's an energy field, and we're stuck under something that's separating us from what is out there. That's my honest opinion.
I wish I knew you were coming on today. I would have done more research because this is exciting and fun. I appreciate
there's
it.
a lot of good
You guys, yeah, man.
I
It's
mean,
good
everybody
movies.
thinks I'm a
I have
crazy
no idea about the
person,
rabbit holes. But also, it's good. Let's tariff Canada
I like
and Mexico.
tariffs.
Because close the border, stop the fentanyl, stop the deaths, right?
What people don't understand is that the U.S. military went around to all of these countries and said, listen, if you allow us to put bases in your country, okay, if you allow us to put bases in your country, you can tariff all the goods that come from America, and we have no tariffs. Okay, sorry, I don't know what we're going.
No.
Okay.
All right, I think that we are we gonna move on now?
Tariff.
We're gonna tariff the.
Well, I mean, we were talking
Tariff
about this
the
guy.
moon.
This one got off the rails.
I don't think so. I see a really
think
short
it's
connection
crushing,
between Canada and the moon.
It's
Honestly,
crushing. I think it's on
having-
fire. I'm pro-tariff, by the way.
Yeah.
People hate tariffs because it sounds like terrorists and taxes had a baby, right? I'm pro-tariffs,
right,
dude.
right. Let's make stuff here.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.